Hello guys, this time we are going to take a look at a very interesting ZvZ match, and I know that the majority of StarCraft community don't really like watching mirror matches, and I kinda get why, because, well, they just have less variety, less diversity, and in general they're just a bit more boring. But this particular game was really interesting because we have Bly, a Ukrainian Zerg player who is notorious for his cheesy playstyle, as you can see, and the first drone is already going to settle around here at the gold base. And we also have Wayne, also known as Vanya, and also known as Ratata. This is a Russian Zerg player who is also very much known for his aggressive playstyle. He is really strong right now in his peak form, I would say. Maybe like not the very best of his performance in the past months, but he's still really good. At least he's one of the best Zerg players in Eastern Europe. If we exclude a laser, he's probably going to be the second one. And Bly has a very nice long list of achievements from his career, starting in Wings of Liberty, How to Transform, and then Legacy of the Void. He was super relevant and super skillful in the beginning of Legacy of the Void. Nowadays, not so much. He feels like he's like, kinda semi-retired player. He's not really being that active, but still he manages to qualify for all those ESL Masters events, and he's still, I think, playing in a really cool fashion. He's famous for his unorthodox playstyle, and you can see the first drones are already transferring to this gold base here. So Bly is gonna have a nice economy advantage in the beginning of this game, but he needs to be also aware that this base is extremely vulnerable, and Wayne might wanna attack that in near future. But so far, he just needs to scout that, and the first Overlord is gonna see this location. He's gonna see that this base is actually empty, and probably this is gonna be a bad signal for Wayne. He's gonna be panicking a bit. He's gonna be, oh my god, what's going on? Is there an attack going or something? Something's up. But also at the same time, this Overlord is just gonna scout the creep. He's gonna understand that this is a gold base, and then he needs to react to that in one way or another. And there are just two ways you can approach that. You can just go for a big bailing bust right away. You can just make, 28 drones, something like that. And then just make links and bailings and try to fight. Maybe also add +1 melee or +1 carapace. This is going to help you a lot. And because the bases are so far from each other, there is just a big distance, it's going to be really difficult for Bly to defend that. Alternatively, you can just try to sit on two bases and go for roaches, maybe go for tech, maybe get a spy or something like that. But this is also not probably the best decision in my opinion, because it makes you really disadvantages in terms of economy. Well, you're just not gonna have enough minerals compared to your opponent, right? Because just gold base gives more income in general, and you kinda need to tackle that one way or another. But Bly is also doing something special. He's faking the third base because he doesn't really need that third base with such level of economy, with such mining. And he's also not mining gas at all, so he's just going to be going for pure links and nothing more. 18 workers, this is a very risky and also expensive all-in attack for him. It's going to be really difficult to recover if it just doesn't do any damage. The queens are already in this chokehold, and it does feel like Bly is actually going to be able to break this defense. The links are actually trying to go to the main base. The drones are being pulled, and well, even though like Wayne is having some troubles defending that, I think he's still doing a good job. Maybe he's going to lose a couple of drones, but Bly is just not achieving any success whatsoever. One queen goes down. But obviously this is just not enough, and Wayne has twice the number of workers already. Obviously this is not a gold base, but you can see he's just probably going to be catching up very quickly when he saturates the bases and just gets all drones back to work. So yeah, so far, like if we just look at the graph, if we look at the minerals, we can see that first of all this engagement was obviously in Wayne's favor, but second of all, Wayne is also mining more minerals, so Bly is now in a very tricky situation. On the other hand, though, he has the third base, which was a bit of a fake in my opinion, but at the same time, maybe I'm just completely wrong, and this base is actually, it was actually planned, right, is as a plan B, because now he can just transition to macro. He's going to be building drones from 3 locations at the same time, and he's going to catch up really quickly. So now it's up to Wayne what he wants to do in this game, and Bly is going to be on the reactive side. He's going for the roaches himself, which is, I would say, a very nice decision, because, well, you need roaches, you need something to counter all of those units from Wayne, and those are gonna be roaches as well. This is very, very likely because, well, this is ZvZ, right? You don't really have any tools except for roaches and maybe mutas and links, but yeah, you don't really build anything else apart from that. So this is something that's gonna happen very soon. For Bly, what's really gonna be difficult is to connect between those bases and actually make a very nice angle of attack, or like rather line of defense, I would say, because, well, Wayne already has +1 attack and he's probably gonna be marching across the map real soon, but he's also being really careful because, well, his roach speed is a bit late. He's adding +1 upgrade and he's also adding +2 attack, +2 ranged attack. The problem for Bly though is that he doesn't really know about that. He doesn't really know how much time is left until this upgrade finishes, and he now sees the third base, but it could be anything. You know, you can put down this base and then just keep on making roaches. And yeah, actually Wayne has to cancel that upgrade. Well, he probably sees that now and he realizes, oh, this is not the best choice, and he actually lost the third base, or rather cancel that. But he now has to deny this upgrade and he lost some precious time on the upgrade. But I mean, it's still fine because he still has a nice roach army right now. His army supply is probably just bigger right now, right? No, actually no, but he at least has the +1 upgrade and he's also gonna get the roach speed, while Bly is still on hatchery tech, doesn't have the layer. And this base, even though it gets you more money in the beginning, more resources, it's gonna get, you know, exhausted very quickly because some of the patches are very low on minerals already. Bly only has links and some roaches, so he understands that, alright, so Wayne is not going to attack me, so I need to put pressure on myself, and he's just trying to do that, but also it happens right at the same time when there is just this upgrade going on, and now roaches are kinda quick, and Bly is just gonna lose this frontal engagement, but that's not the point. The point here is that he's trying to assault Wayne's economy, and he's actually being very successful at that. This was a very nice counter-attack by Bly. It was, you know, two sides, two front lines at the same time. Got 8 workers, which is not actually a lot, and I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to defend here right now. Seems like he's gonna have enough, obviously, but the problem is that Wayne is gonna have some mutas already. He dropped that spire sometime earlier, and so he was playing this transition. He doesn't really need to actually make that many mutas. You can only make like 2 or 3, and this is gonna be already a very nice commitment, and you're just gonna get a lot of extra value from them. Just because you can clear out all of the overlords, you can pretty much seize the map control from your opponent, and your opponent is also gonna be forced to make queens, make spores, and even hydras maybe, and this all just costs so much money and takes so much of your time and effort, and then you can just crush your opponent with pure roaches just like that. So mutas, they give a superior advantage in this matchup, and this is a really annoying unit in general, I would say, in all matches, but specifically in ZvZ it's very difficult to deal with because unlike Protoss or Terran, you don't have Marines, you don't have Stalkers that can easily navigate across the map. You only get Hydras, which are very costly, which, you know, they kind of die to mutas as well. They're not that healthy, they're not that sturdy, and worst of all, they cost a lot of money, and they actually lose in 1 versus 1 fights against roaches until you get really high numbers of like 30 or maybe 25 hydras. Alternatively, you can go for your own mutas as well, and what I think is happening right now, so Bly, he sees that there are not so many mutas on the map at the moment, there are only 2 of them, and probably he can read what Wayne is doing, because Bly is extremely experienced in this game, so he knows, but at the same time, there is a small scouting from this changeling happening at the main base of Bly, and Wayne now sees that there is a spire from Bly's side as well. So he now understands the plan of the Red Zerg. He knows that there's going to be an attempt at least to create like a big Mutalisk attack, and the best way to deal with that would be just going for Hydras, Roaches, and then just 200 supply, 1 single frontal fight, and then probably Wayne is gonna get a very nice advantage. So Bly, he also realizes that, he understands that, alright, while I'm waiting for my mutas, I need to make sure that I don't die to a frontal roach attack, which might happen any second, by the way. Bly just... He has like one tool to counter that. He has those links in the position, and they'll be trying to buy some time for Bly, but the problem here as well is that, well, you need to defend at the front gates somehow, and that's not gonna be really easy to accomplish. So for Bly right now, he doesn't have any upgrades on his army as well. So Wayne has +2 ranged attack and Bly has none of that. And there is that 200 supply army coming. Bly is making 10 Udas, but he probably just doesn't know about the existence of Hydras, because if he knew, he would approach that in a different way, I think. But yeah, the battle begins and there's just so much stuff from Wayne's side. Those Hydras have been extremely useful here. They are shooting from the back line of those roaches, and roaches are doing the tanking. There are queens from the Bly side as well, and there were some spine crawlers, but that's just not enough. Mutas are already here. They're trying to focus down all those Hydras, but that's just not enough army supply in general. And also this upgrade disadvantage for Bly is a big negative factor for his army. He's still trying to do something with Mutas, but this is obviously not gonna happen. And Wayne, I think, just outsmarted Bly in this battle, because he could have tried to go and attack with roaches, and maybe if the attack was repelled, then Bly could have capitalized on Mutas later on, and Wayne would not have enough Hydras, but didn't happen. Wayne just made the perfect decision and executed everything perfectly. And that's it for this ZvZ match. Thanks a lot for watching, have a nice day, and see you next time.